afternoon, everyone. My name is Max Shire. I'm the 2014 chair of SAIL YPN. Welcome to our Lunch and Learn today. Today we're having Sergeant Bruce Jacobs tell us about the Manitowoc Citizens Academy. Sergeant Bruce Jacobs is a 25-year veteran of the Manitowoc Police Department. He started his career in 1988 working as the police cadet and was promoted to patrol officer, where he worked the midnight shift. He then moved to the afternoon shift for a short time before being promoted to the school resource officer at Wilson and Washington Junior Highs. He also became a DARE officer and began to teach the DARE program in the elementary schools. He spent the next 8.5 years serving as SRO for the Manitowoc Public Schools, junior highs and elementary schools, and other private schools. In 2001, he transferred to Lincoln High School, where he stayed until 2006. He then went back to Wilson until 2008, when he was promoted to Crime Prevention Sergeant and DARE Coordinator. Sergeant Jacobs is in charge of many crime prevention programs designed to better educate the public on how not to be a victim and make our community a safer place. He also serves on the state board for the Wisconsin State DARE Officers Association. Please welcome Sergeant Jacobs.
That's pretty detailed. Where'd you get that from?
City website.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All that's true. I started out at the police department as a cadet, and I went and picked up cats and dogs and skunks sometimes and bicycles and stuff like that. So I actually spent over 17 years in the schools as a school resource officer. This is my 21st year teaching DARE. I'm the DARE coordinator, so I've taught at every school in the district, in the private schools, and thousands and thousands of kids. I was your DARE officer?
Yeah.
I thought so. So it tells you how long I've been in there. Not saying you're old, but just a very long time. I want to talk to you guys today about the Citizens Academy, which is a great program that I know you guys would all be interested in doing. Max was going to do it last year. He was all fired up about it. I think you guys came through the police department.
Yeah.
We didn't know you were coming. Right? That was that time?
I think so, yeah.
And they showed up, and it's like, oh, well, what are we supposed to do for you? So we threw some stuff together real quick, and he was all excited about it, and then he bailed on us. He didn't apply for it. I'm sure we'll get his application this year. I want to talk about the alumni. First of all, to be an alumni member, you have to go through the Citizens Academy themselves. If it wasn't for the alumni, the Citizens Academy wouldn't exist. Citizens Academy actually started in 1998. Started out with some officers doing it for the spouses of the officers as a trial. It used to be 10 weeks, and it was very, I don't want to say primitive, but it was a long time ago. Things have definitely changed. It ran for about 4 or 5 years, and then it stopped. There were some things that happened at the police department, some funds that disappeared, and about 4 years ago, we started it back up. I met with the alumni who all this time, even when it was defunct and was not functioning, they were going out and they were doing brat fries and fundraisers to get more money to generate to be able to run these programs. And I met with them. We changed about 80% of the program. We moved it from 8 weeks to 10 weeks. There were things that didn't exist back when it first started. There were no tasers, there was no pepper spray and stuff like that. The technology that comes up, the CSI, the crime scenes stuff that you'll be involved in if you get to go through this. So we changed about 80% of it. So the Citizens Academy alumni is a great group of people. We meet once a month, trying to get Stacy to come in. Stacy's one of our alumni. She's actually a member, but she doesn't show up to the meetings.
Because it's the same night as SAIL
Yes,
meetings.
I was going to say that. I was going to throw you under the bus.
I was going to say.
So, we're going to talk a lot about the Citizens Academy, but before I start, I do want to throw a pitch in for Neighborhood Watch. Okay, there's a person here at this table whose husband just became a block captain. One of my DARE students. Does that tell you who it was? Neighborhood Watch is one of these programs that we're trying to revamp. It's a very high maintenance, it was very fluid. There's a lot of people moving in and out of the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So we're trying to get good block captains that will kind of be the hub of that neighborhood, so we can contact them by emails and stuff. And it's not a lot of work. once the initial talking to the neighbors is done. So after the presentation, if somebody wants to know more about Neighborhood Watch, I just did a long interview with Susan Weiss from the HTR, so there should be an article coming out shortly on that. Okay. So let's talk about some of the details with the Citizens Academy. First of all, we can only take 12 students because it's so intense, and it's a lot of hands-on stuff, and we're limited in our area of officers that we have that can actually help teach it, because it's taught by uniformed officers, not uniformed, but they're real officers that come in, mostly off-duty, to teach this. So we can only use 12. What we want is we want a cross-section of the community. We want a wide range of ages, females, males, different occupations and stuff like that, so that it's not just all one age group or something like that. So we try to get a wide variety. It's 10 weeks plus the graduation, starting the first Tuesday of March. It's from 6:30 to 9:30 at night. Applications usually put out in December. I'll be putting those out on the city website, so you can grab them there. I gave them to you, right? Okay, so
Each person has
you
one.
guys these are brand new, hot off the press, and nobody else has them yet. Participants must make all the weeks. There are many activities that require an even number of people. We do a shooting range, we'll do building searches and stuff like that. We need to have, if you're going through and I know I'm gonna miss these 3 weeks, we're probably going to pass on you and move on to somebody that can make it all the time, because the whole class depends on everybody being there. Because somebody may have to go without a partner that week, and then you jump back in the next week, and it kind of flows from the last week, and you're not really caught up on what's going on. Participants must be able to climb stairs, bend over, and be physically fit within reason. I had a lady that was very upset with me. She wanted to be part of it, but she couldn't get it out of a car. She couldn't do the stairs or anything like that, and I had to explain to her that we're not discriminating against you, but that's what the program is about. Doing these things. It's not classroom. A lot of it isn't classroom. There are a number of awards given away out at graduation. What we do is we watch you, okay, throughout these 10 weeks, and you may have a funny little quirk that you do, or there's a Top Gun for the shooting, and whatever you did best or what stood out about you, we make a little award. Normal people don't know about it, but if you get chosen in here, you'll know it's coming at graduation. What was yours?
Barney Fife.
An honorable badge.
Yeah. The Barney Fife Award, which is the first time we've ever given that one out, actually.
Oh, there you go. I was terrified.
And you're going to see a lot of pictures in here of the things that are going on. A picture's worth 1,000 words. As you go through, I can explain what's happening. It's going to make you better citizens, more aware citizens. In the very first week, we get up and I'll do the introduction, and all these people will talk. But I have the Citizens Academy alumni members come up. And Leon Sellner, him from the Southside Barber, he was one of the original. He's one of the diehard people, and he gets up there and he talks about the passion that he's got for this program and what a better citizen it made him. And he's more aware, and the city's a better place if we have more citizens that are aware. Educating citizens makes everybody a better person. Okay, so that's the main goal of the Citizens Academy. You'll also be able to go on ride-alongs. So we'll have sign-up sheets. So we'll give you a Friday, Saturday, and you sign up for those, which is always interesting. And then there's food and snacks and drinks provided at every lesson. Most of those are provided by the Citizen Academy alumni members. We just ask, we have a little tip jar there, and people throw some money in there, but the cost is on the people who are bringing the food. So, week 1, we start out, this is the last slide that's all this kind of stuff. I know it's boring, but there's so many things I wanted to get out. I'll start a short intro. We'll hand out the binders. You'll each have your own binder. They're personalized. They got your name on and stuff. We really try to make it special for you. You guys will have your own name tags and stuff like that. Maybe you get your picture taken because you're going to get an ID badge. If you ever work at this crime prevention committee or a the crime prevention day at the expo, brat fries, or whatever that you're going to be working for as an alumni member, we want to have you have a pictured ID. So you get your picture taken for that. Students introduce themselves, so we kind of set up the table like this, and then let's go around. What's your name? What do you want to get out of it? And it's very interesting. Some people, I want to see where my city's tax dollars are going. Oh, okay. Other people are just like, I just wanted to learn more about what's going on in our community, and so it's a good communication thing right off the bat. Past alumni will do a short testimonial of what the students can expect and what it meant to them. That's what I was talking about, where they get up and they talk. The chief will talk about the overview of the police department and the administration. The deputy chief gets up and talks about the requirements to be a police officer, what it takes to be a police officer. Then I'll do a little, it's about 20-minute presentation on the Crime Prevention Committee and what's all underneath that wing. The Crime Prevention Committee is a program that's been running for about 30 years. To be a member of the Crime Prevention Committee, and we do need members because we had a couple die, a couple dropped out. We meet once a month, and it's citizens. We get together, we meet at the police department, and we discuss crime prevention things. And I could spend an hour talking about all the different programs that are underneath the wing or the umbrella of the Crime Prevention Committee. So to be a member, you have to fill out an application. It's got to go through City Hall. The mayor has to and the council have to bless you in, so to speak. So, I mean, it's a big deal to be on the Crime Prevention Committee. So we do have some openings on there. You guys are interested in that. Then I talk about the SRO, which is a school resource officer, a job that I love. I did it for 17 years, and it was hard for me to leave the schools because I just, you know, when you get into schools and those words sink in and you start connecting with those kids and they understand what you're there for, you know, it's a great experience. Then Captain Lecterhand will talk about the Detective Bureau. Larry Zimney, Captain Zimney will talk about the patrol division and how many guys are on and, you know, all those kind of things. Then we split into 3 groups. One group will do a tour of the police department. One group, it's a demonstration of the record system, the computer system, and it's pretty in-depth. And another group will get a demonstration of our mugshot fingerprint area. Okay, and then every 25 minutes we're rotating. So that takes up the majority of the rest of the class. But that gives you an overview of everything that happens at the police department. Okay, so I've got some pictures here. This is actually our fingerprint room. He's taking an ID and scanning it in. I mean, this is technology. Scans the ID in, self-populates. Right here, I don't have a picture of it, but it's a glass screen. You know, and you spray it with water and you put the person's fingerprint down there, and the computer, the laser is reading the fingerprint and classifies it right away. Now understand what we used to have to do. You have to fingerprint drunk people, okay? Uncooperative people. They're pushing and pulling and smearing stuff. And then, once you get these fingerprints done, you have to send some to the state, and then we would have to classify our own. So we would have secretaries who would go to school to learn how to read fingerprints. They'd have this little magnifying glass, and they'd sit there, and they'd have to count. There's deltas, and there's ridges, and there's all these other things, bifurcations, and all this stuff with fingerprints. They would have to count the little lines in your fingerprint. Now, if it's smeared and you're off by one, it's going to get misfiled. Okay, so the computer system makes it so much easier and so much quicker and more accurate. So everybody, not everybody, but certain people will get their mug shots taken. And you can see there's the camera's like right here taking that. So they'll take a picture there and then they turn their head. That gets logged into our computer. Everybody also has to wear an orange shirt. Anybody know why that is?
Look more like a perp that way.
I would expect you to say that, Jason. No, that's not right. Say, for instance, we had a crime committed, and the person was a lady wearing a blue sweater. Okay, so we bring you in, and we take your picture. You got that blue sweater in, okay, and you're not the suspect. Okay, but they see that picture and they associate that blue with that person that committed the crime. This way, everybody comes in. We got a couple shirts. They're hanging on the wall. They put them on. They take the picture. They take them off. So that you can't say in a lineup, well, they picked them out because of the color of his shirt. Okay. This is our chief. This is our evidence room. The outer part of our evidence room, all these things are stolen or used in some type of crime. We have a refrigerator there with a biohazard. Behind this door, there's only 3 people that can get behind there. And there's a ton of stuff back there. Now understand, for homicides, we have to keep that evidence forever. So there are body parts back there and stuff like that that are being refrigerated, and just a lot of interesting things. This is a fish aquarium. It's just a way of fuming. It's called fuming. You use heat and super glue, and you put in that aquarium, you cover the top, and there's a ventilation system there. And you heat it up, and the fumes from the super glue come out, and they'll stick to different things, like the oils of your skin that left the fingerprint. just a different way of lifting prints. This is the way we have the classroom set up. I'm up there talking, Leon is walking away, this is after the talk. And our police department, we have a great history of the police department here. It's really, you could spend hours just looking through some of those things. Okay, so week 2, we get into more of the hands-on thing. Week 1 is, if you want to say boring, it's the most boring. I don't think it's boring, but it's the slowest week. Week 2, we do DAT. Anybody know what DAT stands for? Defense and arrest tactics. Okay, and pepper spray and the taser. And it's put on by 3 officers who are training officers. So we'll do a welcome back. We'll talk about last week. If anybody wanted to ride along, we'll talk about what happened on the ride along. We'll do pepper spray, and we use inert spray. Okay, it's not real stuff, but it looks like real stuff. It sprays like real stuff. And we talk about when we use it, what point of the force continuum can we use it. So if I come up to you and I say, you're under arrest, and you say F you, can I spray you pepper spray? Yes, I can, because you're resisting that. So why do I have to go hands-on with you and get hurt, or you get hurt, when I can just spray a pepper spray and it's done? Okay, so we talk a lot about the force continuum. When police officers can act, we can be one step above what's used against us. All right, so then we'll do a taser presentation. You get a live shot on a taser target, a metal target, and then we actually have a new recruit come in and we'll tase somebody live for you. Now I didn't put a tasing in here, but depending on our time, I have a video of Justin Nichols. I tased him last year at Crime Prevention Day. Nobody's going to ask me why. Everybody always asks why.
He lost a bet.
No, he looked at me wrong. Kind of like you're looking at me right now. Then we do a taser presentation and the volunteer, and then we do defense and arrest tactics, where we'll talk about why we do the things that we do, where the striking places are, and you'll actually come up on dummy and do some of the punching and kicking. So here's some pictures. Okay, so what do you do if we talk about body language, reading people's body language? You walk up and the guy's like this, or the guy's standing like this. Or if I'm talking to a suspect and he keeps looking down at my gun, those are telling me things. And we talk about, articulating this in the report. The 1,000-mile stare. Somebody just glares at you. Things are going to happen. But you can't just say that in a report. You have to be able to articulate it. Okay? He looked like he wanted to fight. Really? Why? Well, he had the 1,000-yard stare. His fists were up. His body was bladed. Okay? That paints a picture for someone. So, different things to look for. This is a video, you can watch it on YouTube. And this is the person, they pepper sprayed themselves at a party. It is nasty stuff. We actually will put pepper spray in a little room, about the size of this, and we'll hang it from a towel. And we'll spray the towel, you can go in there, you can smell it, you can taste it if you want. Okay? Don't rub it in your eyes. A couple years ago, Bob Duane wanted to get pepper sprayed. And it's like, I've always wanted to pepper spray an attorney. Bob's a good guy. He's on our crime prevention committee. He got pepper sprayed, and it was horrible for him. I mean, I didn't have a very good camera, so I taped it on this camera without sound. And he's like, and the snot's running out of his nose, and it's nasty stuff. It really is, and it lasts for days. He got some in his ear. It's just really bad. The last time I pepper sprayed someone, I was fighting with him, I had him over the car and I sprayed. Fight was over. Okay? That night I couldn't sleep. My hand was on fire. I mean, I would get up and I would put my hand in ice water. I would feel better. I'd go back to bed. It would warm up. My pores would open up. My hand would start burning again. And that's what it is. If I would spray you right here, right now, it would last about 15, 20 minutes. After that 15, 20 minutes, you'd be able to open up your eyes, you'd be fanning yourself like this, your face would be beet red. You'd walk outside, because it's cold and the wind's blowing, it feels so good. You'd walk back in, whoop, it would reactivate again. It's terrible stuff. Taser, 5 seconds, and you're done. Next morning you might get up and you might be a little sore, because of your muscles tensing up. But, those are some of the pictures. So you can go on YouTube and look this stuff up. We talk about pepper spray, how to spray it. You actually will stand in front of these targets and spray it. As you can see now, they're all spraying it. You want to, if somebody's coming at you, you want to block their punch or whatever they're going to do and spray them with it. We talk about where to spray, where to target. And we talk about the taser. I'm not going to shoot anybody. Okay? The taser has a laser on the end of it. Wherever this laser goes is where one of the darts is going to go, the top dart. Okay? If I pull that trigger, there's actually, this cartridge right here will come off. Okay? This is where the taser is. All the stuff in here, this is all electronics. There's more electronics in this gun. If I would have shot it, it was going to tell me how long I had the trigger pulled. It'll tell me the temperature of the place in here. It also shoots out little aphids. Okay? Little pieces of paper about that big with a serial number on it. And what we can do if this taser is used at a crime, we can trace back to where that taser cartridge was made from and who it was sold to from the company. Okay, there's all kinds of downloadable things on here. But the taser goes out. Okay, there's two prods. One goes out where the laser is. The other one goes down at a 7-degree angle. Okay, so the closer I am, the smaller the spread. Okay, so if I shot right here, the spread would be about like that. But as I back up, it gets bigger and bigger. So it's a limited weapon. I mean, I couldn't shoot you guys, Jason. I couldn't shoot you well, I would try. But from this distance, I would never try to tase anybody because the spread's going to be too high. Okay, so I would want to get closer to them. But it goes out 50,000 volts of electricity, which sounds like a lot, but it's not the volts, it's the amps. Okay, and you will be paralyzed. You'll stiffen up like a board, and you'll drop straight down. Okay, the fight's over. But there's a lot of different things that go along with it. If one prod goes in and the other one doesn't, will it work? No. If you're chasing a suspect and you shoot him and one prod goes in and the other one doesn't, and he goes into a house and holds the door shut, and the officer grabs this handle, have you created that circuit? And they both got shot. True story. One of the officers was chasing someone, tased them, one prod went in, the guy ran in and shut the door, held the handle, the officer grabbed the handle, the taser was still going because it goes for 5 seconds, and they both got shocked. This is what it looks like. This is a metal target. It's like a tinfoil target that folds and it's like a shape of a human body. And then this is what happens. This electricity just dances around, and you'll hear it go for 5 seconds. There's 20 strobes per second. So in those 5 seconds, you're going to get 20 strobes. I'm sorry, 100 strobes. You ever been shocked? You feel that? Or take a 9-volt battery and put it on your tongue. It just grabs. Okay, those are little jolts. So this is Nathan Barnes, one of our new officers. There's Lieutenant Barbier. He's about to tase them. What happens is we hold them up because when they get tased, most people go like this, and they would fall straight down. Some people's, their legs buckle. I don't understand it, but some of them do. So that's before, and that's after. He's got the 2 darts in his body. Actually, they were pulled out already. The 2 darts, they're like mini fish hooks. They're straightened out fish hooks. They have a barb on them. They're going to go in, they're going to hook into your skin. So you got to go up and they call it starting a lawnmower. So you're going to go up, you're not going to pull like this to get them out. You're going to go like this and exaggerate it, and you can hear it kind of as it comes out of your, it's not that bad. It's not. You don't feel them going in. I've gotten tased. I wouldn't care to do it again, but I would take tasing any day over pepper spray. Any day. Now we go through the officers showing them the self-defense things, where to target, how to punch, how to hold your body. Some people get into it more than others. We had the HDR there too. They were doing a story on it. There's yours truly. Then we do a little handcuffing drill. Okay, where they'll show you how to handcuff, and you actually get to handcuff each other. Okay, so week 3 is firearms. We'll actually meet at MTSO at the jail for their range. That's one of the things that we cut out. The old program used to do everything. You'd meet at the police department, and then you travel to wherever site we're going to go to. For one of the nights, we'd go down to Kathy's Stage Door, pub, 1.5 blocks, 2 blocks away. It would literally take from when class started by the time you got there, you're talking almost 40 minutes. You get the people out of the police department to walk down there and get them set up, but then you're in a bar area. There's people there that aren't in the class. Hey, Stacy, how's it going? Yeah, I'm trying to pay attention. Oh, come on over here. Just so many distractions. So half the class was wasted traveling there and back. So we cut all that stuff out. We actually meet right at the jail. And in any police training, you never, ever, ever mix firearms, real firearms, with simunitions. Simunitions are like a paint gun, but it's a blue gun just like this. It cycles, it sounds like a real gun, not quite as loud, but you shoot mini paintballs, okay? It gives a more realistic effect to actually what a gun feels like and what it's like to be in a shoot, don't shoot situation. So we go over there, we spend a little bit of time on the nomenclature of a gun, okay? Where's the trigger guard, the tang, the slide, all these things. We talk about different types of guns. Is it a revolver? Is it a semi-automatic? Is it a shotgun? Is it a rifle? Okay, different types of guns. Most of us know it, but some of us don't. We do dry firing drills, and we do live firing drills, and we do a bullseye contest. There are 6 lanes. You'll have an officer with you. It's not like he will hand you the gun, go ahead. Because some people are deathly afraid of guns. And I'll show you a picture of one of the ladies here. Okay, so you'll have an officer right there with you. Okay, you're in this lane, you're going to be shooting straight ahead, the officer's right there talking to you. Okay, make sure you don't turn around like this and point the gun at anybody. Always point it, keep your finger off the trigger. We'll go over all that stuff with the dry fire and how to line up the sights and stuff like that. Then we do a live simulation, or a live simulation. You walk in, you're a police officer, and you have that simulations gun. And again, I can't stress of how big of a deal it is to be able to shoot guns and to do simulations in the same training. Because in police work, that's a no-no. Because there's a possibility that something may get mixed up and somebody may get shot. So we take it very serious. We do the real guns first. Everybody leaves the room. All this stuff is packed up, locked up, put in cases, and then they bring out the other cases with the simulation. And then they're rechecked again before the simulation starts. Okay? Because we don't want anybody getting shot. So you're going to go in, and they're going to give you a situation. Hey, there was just a bank robbed. This person was running away matching this description. And the person supposedly had a gun. Okay? So you go into this, and there's somebody there coaching you. There's an officer all geared up, and he comes out, and he's screaming, yelling, he may have a knife, he may have a gun. And what are you going to do? Talking, at some point, you need to do something, because talking ain't working. So, this one lady, Kristen Clark, who no longer works for the city, she lives in Michigan, she comes in there, and the officer jumps up, and she's kind of startled, and Barbier says, tell me you want to see his hands. Show me your hands. So he goes, F you, beep, I'm not doing anything. He's got a gun. And we're like, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. So Barbier goes, down on your knees. She goes, no, not you, tell him. Get down on your knees. So we do have a lot of fun with it too. This entire training will take place in the indoor range. Okay, eliminate time travel. So, time travel, did I say that? Travel time. All right, so we talk about why guns fire, how the bullet works, just to give you some insight about why things happen, okay? The parts of the gun. What's everybody doing here?
Figuring out which eye is dominant.
Yep, finding out your dominant eye. Do you guys know what eye dominant you are? Dominant eye? Everybody point at that clock. Point right here. Put both eyes open, point at it. Okay? Now, close your left eye. Are you still pointing at it? No. Close your right eye. Most people are going to be right eye dominant. Okay? So if I close my left eye, if I'm pointing at Jason right now with both my eyes open, and I close my left eye, I'm still pointing at him. If I close my right eye, I'm pointing way over between Abby and him. Okay? So that's what we're doing there. I just thought that was a cool picture. Look at him. Now we go into the dry fire. These are fake guns. They're plastic, but they're the same size of these.
That's cool.
So you're practicing coming out and drawing. Okay, you want to keep your body, you want to straighten out your arms. You don't want to be shooting like this. You want to straighten out your arms so that between your dominant eye and right across the top of that barrel of the gun, the front and the rear sights all line up. They should be all lining up. Okay, so that we're just practicing that. you'll be assigned a belt and you'll have your name on it, so when we use this in the next weeks coming up, you'll be able to just be much simpler. So here's the range. Okay, there's six stalls there. These are officers. Everybody wears a vest. Students wear a vest too. Okay, the officer's working with the person before the shooting goes. The person in charge will call live range, and then you take your time and you shoot 12 at the target. Okay, then the officer talks to you. Okay, what are you doing wrong? Are you shooting with the wrong eye? As you're pulling, are you pulling it this way so you're shooting down to the left? You know, so he'll go over that with you. Then you shoot for the competition. You'll shoot another 12 rounds into the target, 10 or 12 rounds into the target, and then they get scored. So this is Cooper, he won it. This is his target right here. Not that. No, this is his first practice. Then that's his the target. There's 10 rounds in there. Yeah, 10 rounds. You'll also get to shoot a rifle. This is one of our rifles out of our squad. It's a 223. They're really loud, but they kick less than a handgun. I asked Lieutenant Barbier to bring in the rifle so you can understand what a rifle is, and a shotgun, so you can understand what a shotgun is, and the difference, and we talk about the difference. This is a plate that we carry in the front of our vest, okay? See all these things right here? Those are from a shotgun pellet. Now, if you don't know this, when you shoot a shotgun shell, the big plastic thing, there's like 9 balls that come out, okay? This is what it did to that plate about 25 yards away. See those 3 holes right there? Those are from rifle rounds. Whistle right through. If I got shot with a rifle with this vest, it's going to do me no good. Okay? We're talking about the distance and the speed of the bullet and why things happen like that. Okay? I could get shot with a shotgun. It's going to hurt, but I'm going to survive. The rifle's going to come right through this vest. This is Amber. I don't want to do this. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So she ended up shooting the bad guy right in the neck. So we thought we'd take a picture of her because she was very happy about it, and she's glad she did it. Okay, so it's not that bad. Then you have all the alumni and the other students watching outside the range. Okay? But that's what it is. The guy comes out. He's dressed in a suit like this. You can see where he's been shot in the past by this ammunitions. Okay, then we go to week 4. Which is investigation crime scene. It's a CSI week. We are lucky enough to have Detective Eric Kowalski, who's, to this point, I believe, is the only person from Wisconsin that's ever went to the Body Farm. Has anybody heard of the Body Farm? The Body Farm is in Tennessee. They take, and it's actually right in the city. They take bodies, it's like a 2-acre parcel that's wooded, and if you die, you can donate your body to science. They take your body and they throw it in the woods, and they watch it rot, and they document that. Maggots are amazing. Never thought I'd say that, but you can tell so much from a maggot and a beetle. You can tell how long the body's been there, the temperature, all this stuff. They'll put you in a garbage bag, they'll put you under concrete, they'll hang you from a tree. They do all these different things. In Europe, they were having trouble with prostitutes being killed, put it in garbage bags, and then put in garbage cans. How do they estimate how long these people have been dead? So the Body Farm took bodies and put them in garbage bags, put them in garbage cans, and left them out in the sun. And they left some in the shade, and they would document all the decaying. They bury bodies out there. And in part of this class is you have to go through and you have to exhume this body. And you have to find all these bones. There's so many bones in the body, you have to find them all. But just the way they find things is pretty cool. So he does a whole demonstration on that. Half the class will take a break, and then I'll take the other half of the class into the crime scene. I've set up a crime scene down in our lower garage. You have to go through, and there's evidence all over the place. You have to go through and find out what happened here. Okay? There's a body, not a real body, it's a dummy. But you have to figure out what happened based on the clues. Then the two switch, and then the crime scene, or Detective Kowalski finishes with all his other CSI kit stuff. So this is Detective Kowalski. There I am outside the crime scene. There's blood on the outside of the door. Okay. So as you go through, there's the crime scene. there's a ton of stuff in there that you can't see from these pictures. But people line up, and you can walk through it, and you can find different things that have happened. Here's the body laying down here. We talk a lot about blood spatter patterns. Okay, you can find out a lot of things from blood spatter patterns. First homicide I ever went on was over by the Piggly Wiggly. I got a call. It was my first year in the schools, so it was the summer of 1993. I got a call. How are we doing on time?
We're good.
Okay. I got a call that there was a man laying in a pool of blood. So I took the call. It wasn't my section, but I was down in the garage. I went there, and as I walked up to the apartment, there's blood on the outside of the door. So as we go in, here's a man laying face down in this giant pool of blood. When you die, your heart keeps pumping the blood, and if you die from a large wound, most of your blood will be pumped out of your body. And it gets real frothy, kind of like blowing bubble in a milk. So this big area, you got to step over him. You know, what's my first concern? I mean, he's dead. What's my first concern? If I bend over to see if he's okay, where's the guy that did this to him? Okay, so you try a gun, you step over the body, you search the apartment, make sure nobody's there. But then the crime scene comes in from Madison, and it was really cool working with them. What happened was, it was a 17-year-old man who had violent temper, been expelled from school many times. This is a 65-year-old man. He came in the house, we talked to witnesses, they heard a fight going on. He comes in the house, they get in an argument, and he beats this old guy up. The guy's bleeding, he tries to get out of the door. Okay? So he opens up the door like this, tries to get out, and all at once he gets grabbed from behind and pulled back in. So now his hand pushed blood on the outside of the door, and the person killing him shoves the door shut. So we got to do palm prints and stuff like that. But when he got him back in, he'd taken a knife, and he had beat him down. He was face down. The guy was hopefully unconscious. And he took a knife, and he put it under his neck, and he sliced him 1, 2, 3 times, and he ran the knife under his throat, and it came out the back of his head. Now, how do we know that happened? Because there was a table here. Okay? And when we arrested him, there was more blood on the right shoe than the left shoe, because he's right-handed, and he's pulling the blood across here. Okay? So he comes back the second time, whoosh, throws blood up underneath here. He comes like this, blood all up on the ceiling. He comes back again. Okay? And you can tell where the point of origin was from the blood spatter patterns based on what kind of patterns they are. So we talk a lot about that. That's what I'm doing here, some blood on the floor. And we're trying to find the degree of the blood. Because if I drip blood straight down, picture what that would look like. Just a splash, like a sunburst coming out to the side. Or if blood was thrown at an angle like this, it's going to hit and be longer. So using that technology, we figure out where the blood came from. Okay? And the difference between this blood and that blood. It's not real blood. So we talk about angles of impact. 90 degrees, 10, you know what I mean? There's a big difference, and you can tell. Why is it so important? Say, for instance, we get to a crime scene, and somebody says, we were fighting, and the gun went off. We were standing here, and he was trying to shoot me, and the gun went off and shot him in the head here. Okay, so what we do is we take all the splatter patterns all over the place, and we'll take either a laser or a string. And we can figure out, based on charts like this, what degree that's coming from, what angle that's coming from. So this is a 10-degree angle, obviously straight up like this. You can see it's heavier here. So this was coming down like this. These were all coming down like that. This one was straight. So if there's splatter all over here on the wall, we'll draw a string. We'll put like a board back here. Okay? And we'll say, okay, this came at a 45-degree angle. So we'll draw a string up there. This one came at a 45-degree angle. Okay? And we start doing this. All at once we chart 20 or 25 drops and find out that the point of origin wasn't here. It was right here. Does that change the story a little bit? Okay? The person's probably, don't shoot me, versus we're fighting for the gun up here. Okay, so it's crucial in crime scene investigation to find out where those spatter came from. Here's a bunch of lasers that he has. This is a light. There was nothing on this garment. You couldn't see anything to the naked eye. And he puts the light on, and it just lights the stuff up. We turn off all the lights, and he does the lasers. Okay, you couldn't really see them, so then he took some smoke in a can and sprayed it, and all at once, poof, they just appeared. Because you wouldn't see all this, you just saw the dot on the ceilings. So he talks about what you'd use that laser for and all these other kind of things. And of course, everybody's got a sense of humor. the treat that night was dirt cake with worms. After the body farm, digging them up in the dirt and stuff like that. Did you say you didn't eat it?
I couldn't eat it.
So then week 5 is our traffic stops. We'll actually meet out at DPW. Do a short welcome, talk about last week, talk about anybody that went on ride-alongs. We'll do a classroom lesson real quick on vehicle contacts, how to approach a vehicle, what to say as you go up there. All the people then go into the garage at DPW. We do it out there because it's a huge heated garage. We actually have 2 traffic stops going on at once in 2 different lanes of their giant garage. You'll be demonstrated where to park the car, how to park the car for your safety, offset from the other officer's car, what to look for as you're calling it out. You'll walk up to the car, how to stand, if the person's right here, why don't you stand right in front of them, so they can open up the door in front of you. You want to stay tight to the car, you want to look in, all the dynamics of a traffic stop. And then you get to do a practice traffic stop. Then you'll actually be put in a squad car with an officer, and you'll do like a little mini chase in the parking lot, and we'll open up the door, you'll go in, we'll shut the door because it's usually cold, and then you go up and you do your actual traffic stop. Now, the second traffic stop that you do, you have the scenario of what happened. The person in the car has the scenario of what happened because you have to testify to that in the final week when we go to court. That's what you're testifying about. Then we also have a canine demonstration. So here they are, kind of in the classroom. The whole class is right there. He's the guy in the car. This is the officer going up and saying, "This is what you do. This is why you do it like this. This is what you say to him." Then we go out into the garage, and they go up. Now you'd never see this. His hands in his pocket. Officers don't walk up to cars like this. "Hey, how's it going?" Okay, these are all learning things. So we go through the first traffic stop. Sometimes there's a contact officer who will come in from the other side, and the class watches because they're learning too. It's not a stump to chump. It's not who can get embarrassed the most. It's like, "Oh, he did that. I'm going to make sure I didn't do that." Okay, so you're learning from each other. Okay, the officer will be right there with you. If you have any questions, if there's an awkward silence or something, there's always somebody there to help you. Okay, so here you come in a squad car. You'll have your takedown lights on the top. You'll have the light on the side. Why we put it in the mirrors? If you watch people, if I'm getting stopped, I'm looking in the rearview mirror, or I'm looking in the side view mirror at the officer behind me. But if I take that spotlight and I put it right in that side view mirror, you'll see them move their mirror out because they can't stand the light in their eyes, daytime or nighttime. Then we do a canine demonstration. So he comes in and they hide marijuana, and he scratches for it and he finds it. And then he gets his, what do they call that? There's a name for it, something E, Thule or something like that. And he rips the heck out of that towel. This dog actually has titanium teeth because he broke one of his teeth off. So they capped it with titanium, both of them. You wouldn't catch me putting my fingers in there trying to pull his teeth back. Then we do a high-risk stop where the officers stop, just show you how we bring people back. Then we actually do a live extraction out of the car. So we'll send a dog to extract the person out of the car. That dog bites really hard. I've taken probably 3 bites from our dogs. But luckily we have a sleeve on. Then week 6 is OWI, which is operating while under the influence, and the DRE, which is a drug recognition expert. Okay? So this is when you guys learn how to do the HGN, the horizontal gaze nystagmus. You go back and forth. It's a science. It really is. And it's amazing what you can tell about people. You get a quick hour and 15-minute crash course on that. Something called SFSTs, Standardized Field Sobriety Test. Okay? There's 3 of them. You can do your own if you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can do that. You can talk to the people. If I arrest somebody, the tests start the second that I make contact with that person. Did they get out of the car and go like this? Did they tell me I had a couple beers? I didn't have any at all, but I can smell it on them. I tell them to stand there, and then they start following me. These are all clues that I use. But standardized field sobriety test, okay? One leg stand, okay? Then 9 heel to toe steps, That's the walk and turn, and you turn a certain way, okay? And the officer demonstrates how to turn, and the last one is the HGN. So, we have people drinking, and they're having fun. These are alumni members. We have officers up there. Nick Place up there. He is he's a DRE, a drug recognition expert. They are dosing these people so that they keep track of how much they drink. They don't want them to get too high. Okay, but they're upstairs in our cafeteria and they're having fun, sticking straws in their ears. Okay, and then they have to blow because we want to constantly keep them monitored of where they are. Sometimes you have too much to drink, and we won't let you drink anymore. So he turns his cup upside down. Alcohol's an amazing thing, isn't it? I can tell you, I'm 48 years old. I've never been drunk in my life. I don't drink alcohol. I've had maybe 6 ounces of alcohol my entire life. I've always been a designated driver, always been, the person that's taking care of people like this. So that's husband and wife having a great time. I saw these pictures, like, you gotta see
I was
these.
like, if you had Dean there, you had your hands full.
Yeah, this is Mark McLaughlin, he's our president right now. This is Captain Lefterhand, he's a DRE also. He's not drinking, believe it or not. So then, what happens is we pick 6 spots throughout the department. 6 different lighting, different sound spots. We have, every drunk has a babysitter. You have to bring somebody with you that knows you, that can take responsibility for you. And each spot will have an officer there. The 12 students will pair up. They'll go to a spot, to a spot, to a spot. All 6 of these drunks will have people there. You do your field sobriety test on them. And you're using these little yellow books. Okay? When things happen, we call them clues. So when you do an HGN test, you can get 6 clues on each eye. When you do the walking and turn, every time they miss something, it's a clue. And it's all spelled out there for you. Okay? That's what she's doing. She's writing the stuff down. Now, if you're on the street, you're not going to be writing all this stuff down because who knows what kind of drunk you're dealing with. You just get very proficient at it. The drunks and the babysitters and the officers stay there. The students rotate. So every 10 minutes, we'll rotate spots. Okay? So hopefully we'll get to all 6 drunks. You can see them doing the HGN. HGN. The 9, the walk and turn. And the 1-leg balance. 1-leg stand. Sometimes you can't do the 1-leg stand. Okay? And then afterwards, like, okay, what did you guys see? Well, I had this many clues, so they go over it with the officer. So then what happens is we all get in front here. We line all the drunks up when they sit there. And we chart everything on the board. Okay? This is what's being charted right here. We'll put the person's name, their name, HGN, horizontal gaze nystagmus, walk and turn, 1-leg stand. Vertical HGN, that's what the V stands for. Would you arrest them? The PBT, the preliminary breath test, before, as they come in, and then after. Because if I drank 3 shots, I'd be out. But if the normal person would drink 3 shots, okay, and you tested that person like 15 minutes later, is their blood alcohol going to be going up, down, or is it going to be leveling off? In 15 minutes. It's still going to be going up, right? So that's what that is. So basically we go through here. Okay, HGN, how many clues did you have? Look at, you can get 6. Okay, 6, a lot of numbers on all these people. The walk and turn, Sue couldn't do it. She was the one that was falling over. Okay, so couldn't do it. Look at all these clues. Look at how high the clues are. Mark had only 3, that's a 0 and a 1. The 1-leg stand, not so many, not so many. Brenda didn't have any. She was able to do it. Mark was completely able to do it. Vertical, yes, 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 no. Would you arrest? Yes, 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 maybe, yes. 3 people wouldn't have arrested him. Look at what his PBT was, a 1-3. Blood is always higher than a PBT, the breath test. Blood is always higher, it's a true reading. So Mark, he had 15 ounces of whiskey and passed his balance test. Was he impaired? Absolutely. But he could balance. So look at his zeros, look at these little numbers here. But all you need is 3 on the HGN, because you can't practice that test. But most of the people there wouldn't have arrested him. So we go through, she thought it was pretty funny. She was a maybe. She was very happy at a 1.6. And there's Julia, and there's Susan. So week 7, we go through and we do the drugs in the building search. So we'll have half the class split and get a drug presentation. The other half go through the department, and you learn how to enter rooms, and you learn how to search safely. Okay? With another officer, you do a little bit of classroom, but mostly it's stairwells, you're going in and out of the basement, and then we actually put alumni down there to hide, and you gotta find them. Okay? So here's some of the pictures. We talk about how to enter a room. All right? So if I'm coming into this room, and I don't know what's in here, do I go? Okay, so there's another officer. This window is all dynamics that change for every room. So how do you enter the room? How do do you hold your gun down here? Do you hold it up there? Do you hold it close to you? Do I come around the corner like this? If I do that, and somebody's standing there, they're going to grab the gun from me. Right? So you bring it in close like this. And it's called the pooping chicken. Okay? Really? The glass, right? I'm not making this stuff up. If this is not glass, what I would do is I would stick my butt out, and I'd get my face as close as I could, and I would stick like this. Now, I can see the lady sitting next to you. I could see you. But you couldn't. Could you see me?
Barely.
Okay, I can see your arm right now. So what you do is you take like pie, okay? Like slices of pie. So I go a little bit farther, I go a little bit farther, I go a little bit farther, until I can clear the whole room. Okay, so we talk a lot about that. Entering rooms safely, stairwells safely. A little bit of the classroom. And then you go down in the basement, and you know somebody's there. You just got to find them. Okay, so you're working with a partner. She's cornering right there. He can see this way, but there's a wall there. So she starts here. She goes a little bit further, until she can see as much as she can there. Leon's hiding in the cage back there. Other people are hiding on the side, so now they're drawing down on him. They're going to arrest him. These are fake guns. You never know where they're going to hide. Inside vans, okay, because we don't know where criminals are going to hide, so you got to find them. Then we have a drug presentation, all kinds of drug paraphernalia, drug terms, slang terms. We'll light a little piece of incense that supposedly smells like marijuana. You'll get to see what real drugs look like, real paraphernalia that's been confiscated from people. Then in week 8, we do a presentation on gangs and Officer Tenhagen. Do you guys remember Officer Tenhagen? Okay, he was a good friend of mine. So, on September 23rd, 1998, I go through this, I read Officer Heiler's report, who was the first officer on the scene. You'll get chills up your spine when you listen to this. Then I actually do the radio traffic of that night. Dale's last words on the radio, and everybody, as things start to ramp up, you can, all at once, it's like, Heiler gets there, and he's running around, he's running from building to building, yelling for Dale, and all at once he sees the guy up, and he yells to him, "Hey, where's the officer?" The guy opens up the window, and he says, "Well, after the gunshots, when everybody took off running." So he broadcasts that, and you can hear in everybody's voice, something's wrong, they can't find him. So we go over that whole thing. They'll actually listen to the radio traffic. We'll do an incident overview with Detective Orpel, who actually performed CPR on Dale that night. And then Officer Peroni, who was the other guy performing CPR on Dale that night. And then from my version of it, you'll see crime scene pictures and stuff like that. And then there was a memorial video afterwards. This was the headlines, HTR. He was one of my students at Wilson Junior High. Just a hard, callous kid at 16. I'm in his face in his bedroom for stealing another gun. And the kid is just as smug and as cocky as could be. I thought to myself, if I was 16 years old, there's 3 cops in my house doing a search warrant, I'm going to pee my pants. But not him. So it was pretty much destined to happen. Then we go to a gangs presentation. These are all local pictures of some of our gang members. This is Captain Zimney. We talk about gang paraphernalia, gang weapons, things that we've confiscated, things that you need to look for, different type of gang signs, what they look for. It's a lengthy presentation, hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, but it's very informative. You'll start to look for things when you go to grocery store and you see a kid, with a big star on his hand, or one leg rolled up on his pants, like, what a dork. Well, he's telling you something. You just don't know what it is. Okay? Different things, like they have these knives and then they'll put gang symbols on there. Okay? They'll steal this gun and they'll scratch all kinds of stuff. BDSK was a local gang, wasn't really affiliated with any big gangs, but it stands for Beating Down Sorry Kids. And they just beat the heck out of people. They did so much vandalism with these guns, they stole them from one of the stores, shooting out windows, porch windows, house windows, bus stop pieces of glass. They did vandalism all across the city. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Then in week 9, we talk about internet predators. I'm part of ICAC, which is Internet Crimes Against Children. And I go on the internet as a young girl or a young boy, and men that are older than me hit on me. And we go over stories, and I tell you how it works and how they get into people's Facebook accounts and how they do all this stuff. And I show you pictures of these people, and I do that whole presentation. And then I talk about the SROs and their relationship with schools. Then we have a presentation on something called CVSA, which is Computer Voice Stress Analyzer. It's a lie detector test, but technology's caught up. We don't put things on you anymore. Basically, you talk into a computer, and it measures your voice. So this is my social networking one. The social networking, the most effective tool ever invented for sex predators. Can't you just see this happening? You can be anybody you want to be on the internet. Hi Susie, how are you today? Oh, hi Bobby, how was school? Oh, I hit a home run in gym class. These girls are so excited to talk to this young man, and that's who they're talking to. And when you see some of the cases that I've worked in these people, okay, this is one of the cases I worked. These girls were going to run away from Lincoln High School. They were going to run away and meet this guy in Florida. His name is David. The parents got a hold of me. Hey, these girls are going to run away. They're taking sexual calls from this guy all night long. So I took over their account, changed the password, started talking to this guy. I bring the girls in my office at Lincoln, and their parents are there. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, well, who's this guy? Oh, that's David. Really? How do you know that? Well, we've been talking to him for months, and yeah, we're going to run away with him. This is where he works, and this is where he lives. Are you sure that's him? Well, yeah. Well, how do you know? Well, because he told us all this stuff, and I said, how do you know that? That's not the guy you've been talking to. The one girl started to cry. It's like, oh my God, is that him? I said, I don't know. It might be. It's definitely not David. So after a long investigation, because these things take a long time, this is who they were talking to. His name is Aaron West. He's a 46-year-old Baptist minister. When he was arrested, he said, my wife told me I was going to get in trouble for this. These girls are going to run away. I can't tell you how many internet crimes happen against young girls, and we talk about it a lot in that presentation. Then the SROs, this is a picture of some of the SROs, but he's no longer in schools, he's retired, and he got promoted. So, the CVSA, Computer Voice Stress Analyzer. Basically, you sit down, you'll take the test, you'll talk, they ask you sample questions. What's your name? What color is this wall? No, that's too hard. What color is that? No, that's brown. Something very obvious, like this wall is white. Say it's white. And you're going to have to say, no, it's not. Okay? So they have sample questions. They make you lie so they can test things. And then this is what it looks like. You're trained, you'll get a quick training on what to look for. And then we'll do one right in front of you. So everybody will stand there. And then this person will be standing like this watching a computer screen. And then the other person's on the other side answering the questions. It's like 3 questions. So this is the game. Do your homework. Okay? Make the appointment. This is one of our secretaries. Should I take the call? Should I not? Okay? The pre-interview and take the test. So he sits down with her. Okay, these are the questions we want to ask you. Are you okay with those questions? We're not going to surprise you with any questions at all, because everybody's like, well, I may be really nervous. You're going to know the questions. We're not going to yell at you. We're not going to surprise you. Okay? Game, set, match. That's the confession. I wish it was that simple. Then, week 10, we do the courtroom testimony. We'll be in a real courtroom at the courthouse. We'll have a real judge there. We'll have the district attorney and the defense attorney. They all do short presentations, 5 minutes, about how they got to where they are, what they do, what their job is. And then each student will testify on the traffic stop. And then when everybody's done, we'll have a short presentation on DVOs, which is domestic violence ordinances. So that's Judge Bendix. This is the courtroom. You guys will be sitting in the jury box. This is Steve Olson, who used to be a police officer. Was my field training officer when I first started. He was an attorney, and now he is the municipal judge. He retired being an attorney. This is Mark Rohr. Now he is the new circuit court judge. And this is Mary Schuler. She is was the president and is one of the main persons for the Citizens Academy alumni. So you'll go up, you'll get sworn in. You'll have to testify about what happens. You get examined by the defense attorney. What they want to do is do I have any attorneys in here? Okay, good. I get along with them. They want to discredit you. They want to make you sound like, oh, what, did I say that? Well, didn't you say this? Okay, so it's a game. So they play pretty much on. Didn't you say this? How could you see that from this vantage point? Didn't you say this? So they're up on the stand, and then afterwards we do a domestic violence presentation, just so you kind of know it's a big part of the police department. A lot of people get arrested for domestic violence. Most of the stuff involves alcohol, or the attacker's losing. It's Eckley and Jansen. And we have graduation at the Eagles Club. It's a great formal but not too formal thing. We sit down, we have dinner, and then you get your awards, we get your picture taken with everybody, better quality than that, and we take our group picture.
You did it.
I did it. It's a lot of fun, and you will learn a ton. Any questions? No. Okay, well, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
This is yours, right? This jump drive is yours?
Yes.
I'll take it off your hand.